Welcome everyone to the Gardener's Corner. I am Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, and I serve Person and Granville counties, predominantly teaching people about food and nutrition. So one of the things I always hear from people is it's too expensive to eat healthy. And there's a couple of things that I say to that. I'll say, well, it can be depending on what type of foods you think that you need to be eating to eat healthy. But I want to give you some suggestions to help you, develop a food budget as well as understand some different resources that are out there for you. So I'm going to share a presentation that we have taught in the community a couple of different times, and it's about our More in My Basket program. We often talk to people that, it can be difficult to, if you're living on a budget and you only have so much for food. So we want to make sure that you can afford to put more in your grocery basket than you have been. So to help you learn how to develop a food budget, we want to talk about that program, the More in My Basket program. And it has a website, morefood.org. There's a lot of good, healthy recipes there. There's also some information about, different ways to eat healthy depending on the time of the year, knowing when fruits and vegetables are in season, as well as there's a 1-800 number that you can call, and they will help you determine if you qualify for SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps. So throughout this presentation, again, I'm just going to talk a little bit about budgeting, but specifically when it's with regards to a food budget. But food budget is only one of the types of budgets that you need within your household because you buy a lot more things other than food. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about everything. But before I get started in that, I want to make sure that you are aware about the SNAP program. It stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And again, it was formerly known as food stamps. In North Carolina, we call it the Food and Nutrition Services. So you might have heard either one of those, or you might have seen this SNAP logo at your local grocery store or gas station or other places that sell food, because they might accept SNAP benefits. So how the program works is every month you get an allotment of benefits, allotment of money each month. They're loaded on an EBT card, electronic benefits transfer card. So again, it just looks like a debit card. So instead of having to deal with, the food stamps or checks or anything like that, you just have a normal credit card. So it just looks like everyone else. And that credit card is used to purchase eligible food items. So what are those eligible food items? Well, oftentimes it's going to be some of those dry goods, milk products. You can even purchase seeds to grow your own food as well. That has been, something new that's been added. And of course, all the fresh fruits and vegetables and meat products. So mainly the main, staples kind of that you need to create your meals each and every day. You can shop at most grocery stores, convenience stores, dollar stores. If you go to large discount stores, certain farming markets will accept SNAP benefits, as well as even online, certain stores will accept SNAP benefits. Usually you're going to see a sign of some kind in their window at the establishment letting you know that they accept SNAP benefits. So when you're sitting down to work on your budget, there's a lot of different things that you need to think about. So we're going to start briefly with about a household budget, but you can see that looking at this graph of what typically is involved in a household budget, it can vary depending on if you are putting any money in savings, if you even have a retirement, if you have insurance, those kinds of things. But food is always an important one and something that's going to be on everybody's budget because you have to eat. When you're sitting down doing any kind of budget, whether it's a household budget or a food budget, you need to sit down and really determine what are your needs and what are your wants. And this is something that I even do with my children. I think it's very important for them to understand the difference between a need and a want. And it's important for them to learn it now so that they can have good financial skills as they get older because they understand the difference. Now, I will say this, that your needs and wants can vary slightly from person to person. Okay. For the most part, we need food, water, and shelter. Okay. You also need whatever medication is important to keep you healthy. Some people need transportation where other people may, live nearby where they can walk to work or they can walk to the grocery store or whatever. So a car might not be a need for them. It might make their life a lot easier, but it would probably fall more into the wants category. Now, I know plenty of people that think they need coffee, but that typically would fall into the wants category, along with other types of food. The treats that we give ourselves, vacations or entertainment. Those kinds of things. Those would fall into wants. So it's more important to cover and make sure that you are spending your money on the needs first, and then hopefully at the end of the month you have some money left over that you can maybe put into savings, or you can also buy a couple of those wants. Because I understand that those are important to make sure just for your mental health as well. You need to be able to treat yourself every once in a while. So when you're sitting down to work on your budget, it's important to track your income. What money do you have coming in, whether it's from, a job, Social Security, unemployment, child support, as well as benefits such as SNAP benefits. Those are important to include because they are part of your income. They are coming into your house. Once you have that, you need to track your expenses, the money going out of your house. So certain expenses are something that are going to remain stable. Every month, you're going to have a mortgage or a utility bill. Now, the utility bill might change slightly, but for the most part, your rent or mortgage are going to stay pretty stable. You're going to have other things that are more periodic. You don't need to buy clothes every month. So that's going to be something that maybe, once or twice out of the year, or if you're buying gifts for people's birthday, that's a couple of times throughout the year. But those are more periodic expenses. So you need to not forget about them because you're going to have to fit them into your budget, but they're not every month. You don't have to worry about them. And then you're going to compare your income to your expenses. Is your income, up here and your expenses are down here? That's great. You're bringing more in. But if you are constantly spending more than you are bringing in, then you're going to definitely get into debt really quickly, and it's going to be difficult to get out of it. So we want to prevent that, but we also want to help you understand that, yes, sometimes, you're going to have certain months, the car breaks down and you got to take it to the shop. You weren't expecting that expense. And so it's going to take a chunk of your income to cover that. But that's something you need to fix in order to be able to get to your job if you don't live nearby. So we have different paperworks and worksheets at the Extension office that we can send to you, or you can find on our website in a couple of different places. But this is an example one of just a budget form. Okay, you can just get a plain piece of paper. You don't have to have a special worksheet for this, but just writing down your expenses and your income. And I mean, everything, and label it out. This is for my house. This is the food. This is the transportation. And I think you'll notice that certain things like, wow, I didn't realize I was spending that much on food, or, I got to get a better car that doesn't eat so much gasoline, or, those kinds of things. So we want to make sure that you fill out this worksheet, or that you just jot these things down, even on a plain piece of paper, so that you can see how much money is coming in versus how much is going out, and specifically where it's going out. So food, I do like to make sure I'm breaking out not just food. I mean, just this is what I'm grocery, this is what I'm eating out. Because a lot of times we eat out too often, or we always stop at the gas station, get us a drink and a honey bun or something like this. Those little expenses can add up to where you're spending a lot more money eating out than you realize. Making sure that you're separating out your food and the other things you buy from the grocery store. So yes, you need to buy paper towels and napkins and detergent, but those things alone can be very expensive. So, and you can't really do much about those because you need them. You can buy cheaper brands or store brand versus name brand, use coupons, those kinds of things, but we all need toilet paper. So we found out how important that was this past year. So making sure that you put those kind of in a separate category, other expenses or other grocery store expenses, so that when you're looking at your food costs, you're really looking at actual food. Okay. You might want to even go more in depth if you notice that your food category is really outrageous. Look at how much of it is your actual meal expenses. Yes, I'm buying meat and pasta and sauce and veggies, and those things are my meals. And then how much money are you buying on the other just snacks, and are they even healthy snacks? Are they all unhealthy snacks? Maybe they're not for you. Maybe they're for your children. Would it be cheaper for them to eat the school lunch, especially now that it's free, or to take their lunch every day and you keep having to fill it up with snacks? So looking at those things will help you decrease your food budget. You can track these things with a variety of different ways. Again, pen and paper is old school, is perfectly fine. You can look at your bank accounts, your statements and transactions, either daily or weekly. You can do them monthly as well, but you can find most of the banks do have an app nowadays, so you can track that stuff as you go. Not to mention, there's a lot of other apps on your smartphones. One of them is called Mint. It'll help you track your expenses. And this is kind of what it looked like here on the screen. But my bank has a pretty good app as well. So I just tend to use that one, but you can use other ones to make sure that you're getting all of the information in one location. Because if you aren't using your credit card or your debit card or whatever else, you're not going to see that on your bank statements if you're always paying cash for things. So you're not really going to know what you're spending your money on if all of it's, you're spending it on cash, unless you keep the receipts and write them down yourself. When you are creating your budget, you want to set certain goals for yourself. Okay, this is what I want my food budget to be. I don't want to spend any more on entertainment than this. And once you have your budget or have that information down, you can track where you need to spend less. You can challenge yourself to put more in savings every month. And then just continue. Once you get yourself into that budget and you're sticking with it, continue to just track, or, maybe not as much, but monthly, to see if you've been hitting that goal, if you've been staying within your budget. You might need to adjust it as you go every once in a while. And again, your food budget is just one part of that household budget. But for some people, it's a very big expense and a very big consideration you need to look at. So you need to determine if you qualify for the food resources that we mentioned, such as SNAP or, WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, free reduced school meals, food pantries, if there's some in your area, whether it's a local church or one of the bigger ones in the county, as well as there's a couple of congregate meal sites, such as the senior center or wherever else. See if you qualify for those, if they have any room left in that program. It never hurts to ask and to check to see if you qualify for these programs. It's very important to make sure that you're getting the healthy, nutritious foods that you need to stay strong and to stay active and continue to be mobile. So we have a different worksheet for a household food budget. And this kind of breaks it out a little bit more. Do you want to be thrifty, or just kind of, I want to cut my costs, but I don't want to be too crazy? It's going to depend. So this worksheet can kind of vary. If you're an adult or a female, they kind of have an average of, this is an estimate of what typically, people in this age category, in this gender category, how much money they spend a week on food. Okay. And so you can factor this in and say, okay, my husband is, 40 some years of age, so he's going to be $55 if you're using the low cost plan. I'm going to be using $48 there. And then I have 3 children. So I'm going to put that in there, and it's going to be, a 48, a 48, and a 44. So out of 5 people, I'm going to add all of that up. And it's going to possibly be, $200 to $250 for my budget. Okay. And then if I want to factor out how much of that is per month, I can do my math. And if there's any way that I can decrease that, okay, so that we are eating less than, $50 a week, or less than this as a family, that's important too, because if you're all going out to eat different places, it's going to add up more. But if you come home and you cook a meal, it's going to be much cheaper because you're all using the same resources. And we have a lot of information that can show you specifically how to eat healthier, and simple, easy recipes that you can do that cost less. different ways to track your food spending. Again, the importance of, why we need to do this is you need to make sure that your budget is realistic. You also need to know where your money's going. Are you spending most of it at the grocery store? Or are you spending most of it eating out? And you want to look at the type of food purchase, because if you notice that, I'm not feeling as healthy as I need to, I've been putting on a lot of weight. If you track your food expenses, you can see that, wow, I've been having a lot of late night snacks. I've been picking up a lot of soft drinks or a lot of fast food or a lot of just snacks right before bedtime that are not good for us. And that can help you focus more and figure out what changes you need to make. So you can write everything down as you go. You can just keep all your receipts, and at the end of the week, pull them all out and see where you were eating. Or if you're using your credit card or debit card, you can just review those purchases as well. Anything that helps you track your food. And think about it. When we do this workshop in actual in person in class, we get everyone to write down a budget saving strategy. So thinking about what works for you is what's important as well. We all have different things that we like to do and that we focus on, but some of us all have different ideas. So talking to people that maybe who've had the same struggles as you are having with budgeting or with food or whatever else, maybe they can give you some suggestions as well. And if you need more information, again, the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Services has these different worksheets, has other resources and other information to help you not only eat healthy, but do so on a budget for you, for your family. If it's only one or two of you, we can help you decrease your meals. We can help you learn how to freeze things properly so that you can save it for later use and you're not wasting your food, because then you're just throwing money down the drain. So we're going to take a minute and listen to get some word-ons from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
South Boston Memorials, located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia, has been in business since 1958. The Myers family of South Boston Memorials believe that every life has a story. For 4 generations, their life work has been to present and preserve that story for our prosperity to hear. Allow South Boston Memorials to tell yours. South Boston Memorials has granite memorials, markers, and mausoleums, over 300 in stock. In-house laser etching is available at South Boston Memorials, and they can also make pet markers. For memorial benches, vases, and monuments, call on South Boston Memorials at 434-572-3859 or visit their website, sobomemorials.com. That's 434-572-3859. South Boston Memorials is located 1439 Seymour Drive in South Boston, Virginia. Like us on Facebook or visit the website sobomemorials.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We want to talk with you about something that you might not be thinking about, the fact that it can affect your health: sleep. It's important to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that you're resting well in order to be the best you and to feel the healthiest that you can feel. So we're going to share a presentation that was given to us from the NC State Wellness and Recreation Department, and talking about how important it is to sleep well as just making sure that you're getting the best type of sleep that you can get. And we'll talk about what all that means. So in order to rest well, what does that mean? Why is sleep so important? Why is it something we're talking about today? Well, it's important because it's going to help you restore your energy level. It's going to strengthen your immune system, which is something we definitely all want to be our healthiest. It's going to also repair things that are going on in your body, repair your heart or blood vessels. It's going to help strengthen your memory and your cognitive function, because no one wants to start to have memory issues or start to feel like you're living in this kind of fog almost. It's going to improve your mood, because who doesn't feel better when they've slept well? Now, there is a difference between getting too much sleep as well, because that could have negative effects as well. It's also going to lower your risk of gaining weight. Most people probably don't associate sleep with something that can affect their weight gain, but it can for a couple of different reasons that we're going to talk about. Now, how much sleep do you think that you need to get? Well, it depends a little bit on your age, but for the most part, everyone's heard kind of about 6 to 8 or 7 to 9 hours for most adults is what is recommended. And it's important that you're getting that amount, and you can't make up for the sleep. So if you only slept 4 last night, it's not okay, I'll sleep 10 tonight and it'll even out. You can never truly catch up on the sleep that you've missed. That's something research has shown us over the years. So what's the problem if you're not getting enough sleep? Well, more than likely, you're going to be cranky and irritable. It'll also increase your level of stress. It will make you have difficulty concentrating. And again, you don't want to feel like you're living in a fog or you can't remember anything or whatever. And that's exactly what a lack of sleep will make you feel like. It can cause hormonal issues. It can cause weight gain, which could be partly because some of those hormonal issues. And overall, it's going to increase our stress, our anxiety, and make us more at risk for depression. And it could just be it's happening slowly over time, slowly and slowly, you're starting to feel, in a fog and you're thinking negative thoughts. And then the next thing you know, you're in a place where you're actually feeling quote unquote depressed. And we want to make sure that you're catching it before it gets to there. We all have busy lives. We all have, possibly children or something that may make us lose sleep for one night or whatever. But consistently, you should be getting about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And if you're not, then that's going to put you at more of an increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and weight gain. And that's something we don't want anyone to have to suffer from. Also, as I mentioned, it's going to help clear out your mind so you can be more productive. So your cognitive production, your cognitive function is at its premium, because there's a lot of people, in fact, 1.2 million workdays are lost each year from sleep deprivation. So if you are a business owner or something like this topic can be very important to you, because that also costs money if your workers are not getting enough sleep and they're not performing at their peak production. And we even say sleep like your life depends on it, because there have been a lot of people, unfortunately, who have lost their lives because they have fallen asleep at the wheel. In fact, 60% of surveyed adults have driven while they're feeling drowsy. And there's 6.13 million crashes just a few years ago. And about 10 to 20% of those were because they were drowsy driving. Okay, that's a lot of crashes, and that's a lot of preventable deaths. And in one study, sleep deprived people were 50% more likely to die at work. Think about all of those people out there that are doing dangerous jobs every day. And it could just be, normal, simple things that you're not thinking about. Even in your daily office, something can fall on you because you weren't thinking and you just pulled something down, and next thing you know, everything comes tumbling down on you. It doesn't even have to be a dangerous job. It could be something you do all the time, but because you're not doing it, or you're doing it sleep deprived, you are putting yourself at risk for just harm that can come to you at the job. So make sure that's not happening as well. I mentioned that it will also gives your body a chance to kind of rejuvenate the immune system, because sleep deprivation basically makes your system feel like it's under stress. Okay. And our body reacts to stress in usually a negative way. So sleep is our one way to just shut everything off, shut everything down, so that we can kind of give our immune system that reboot that it needs. And the more time that you can reboot, your computer, your hard drive, the more time that it's going to work properly and better the next day. Because the less sleep you get, the weaker your immune system is going to be, which means you're more likely to get it sick, whether it's from something, simple or something serious. And if you're getting less sleep, it also means that not only are you more at risk for getting sick, you're going to take that much longer to recover from that illness. So especially if you feel yourself kind of worn down or whatever, sleep can be extremely important. Make sure you're getting enough when you're feeling kind of under the weather. As we age, our sleep is definitely going to be affected. A lot of times we shift our sleep schedule a little bit. It could be you're waking up more often at night. Maybe if you have to go in the bedroom, sometimes people have to adjust their beds because they have back pain, or they need to kind of sleep at like a little bit of an elevation. Some people also tend to nap more often during the daytime. And it takes you longer to recover from changes in your sleep schedule. So even just a slight disruption in your sleep schedule can make a big difference as we age. You're going to feel more pain and discomfort. A lot of people as they age start suffering from, insomnia or sleep apnea, or just other different illnesses that could be causing problems with their sleep. If you're having something that, a real concern, please check with your doctor and tell them, what symptoms or what you're going on. And maybe you can get diagnosed with a sleeping disorder, at least get you some information and or medicine that can help you with your sleeping issues. Now, we want to make sure that not only are you getting enough sleep, that you're truly resting well. And there's some tips that we want to share with you to make sure that you're doing just that. It's good to create a sleep routine, get into a habit right before bedtime, set a particular time on your clock at night that, okay, this is where I shut everything off. I'm not going to have any electronics, and we're going to, if you want to go take, a bath, or you want to read a book or something, just turn off all the noise. It could just be 30 minutes before bed, whatever works for you. It also helps if you have a wake up routine. I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to go to the bathroom first. I'm going to splash some water on my face, do my daily stretches in the morning, go get my coffee, eat my breakfast, whatever. Routine and consistency is important. Trying to go to sleep at the same time every night and trying to wake up at the same time every night, even on the weekends, that'll help your body, know what it's supposed to do, when it's supposed to do it. It's kind of like you've got that internal clock. For example, those people that have always woken up at a certain time for years and years and years to go to work, when they retire, their body is still used to that routine. Keep it on that routine, because those changes in routine can truly disrupt your body and disrupt your system. Okay. Now, before you go to bed, as you're working towards that winding down time, you want to do things that, again, not only just, that shut your mind down. Okay. So it's not good if you watch TV, we recommend you actually turn off all electronics. So the TV, the tablet, your cell phone, that kind of blue light that comes from those screens can actually make it more difficult to fall asleep and to stay asleep. So turning off all those electronics, especially you don't want to be watching some of those scary adrenaline pumping kind of TV shows right before you go to bed, because your brain won't settle down, because you basically just given it a rush of adrenaline and now it's coursing through your body. So some of the things that we recommend is reading a book, getting a journal out, whether it's a gratitude journal or a mindfulness journal. You can put your worries, your stress, write them down, and then put them to the side. So maybe you're not thinking about them while you're trying to sleep. Some people will get a little light snack. You don't want something big and heavy sitting on your stomach. And you also don't want anything that's, really unhealthy for you. So something just very light and small if you're going to do a snack. Some people like taking a warm bath or shower before, because just the heat also will kind of make you more relaxed. Some people, it's the exact opposite. It wakes them up. So you just have to find out what works for you. I don't typically recommend drinking right before bed, because, you're going to get up and have to go to the bathroom several times. But if you are going to drink before bed, even 30 minutes or an hour before, sip on something that doesn't have caffeine. It could be like an herbal tea, or again, something warm that's going to help you kind of relax and, get ready for the night. Because caffeine can be detrimental to your system, especially late at night, because it's a stimulant. Okay. I mean, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, but you don't want to get too much during the day. And you also don't want to get too much late at night, because it's going to affect your sleep quality. It could be you can go to bed easily, but then you're waking up throughout the night, maybe because you're anxious. Sometimes it can cause headaches. Sometimes it just means you have to go to the bathroom more often. So thinking about what you're putting in your system before you are getting in that bed. The amount of caffeine found in some of our beverages would definitely surprise you. And, we've got this slide here just to show you that, some of those coffees or some of those energy drinks that I know some people drink have a huge amount of caffeine in them. So, I don't want it to seem like, oh, your soft drinks are a good option, but you can see on the far right there, a 12-ounce, can of soda has about 35 to 45 milligrams of caffeine, where some of these other ones are double, triple, or even, lots more. So being careful of what you are drinking and what you are putting in your body. But again, that soda is still going to have enough caffeine to keep you awake, and you're not going to be sleeping as well. I often have people ask me, well, is it good to take naps? Again, that's kind of a personal decision there. Sometimes it can be. If you know that you're going to experience sleep loss, maybe you're working a different shift, or you've been having some unexpected sleepiness, or again, if you just want to get into that habit, of I want to be able to take a nap here so I can stay up later here to spend more time with my family or whatever, you might want to work it in. It's just like being a parent with a young child. Is we'll shove a nap into them, and we'll do it often enough at a certain time of the day till they get to that routine that this time is always their nap time, so that they can stay up later and maybe sleep throughout the night. Again, you don't want to get naps too late in the day, because then you're going to wake up for an hour or two, and then it's going to be time to go back to bed. If you can, it might even be good to set an alarm. So you're just getting a little cat nap. You don't want to sleep for hours and hours. You just want to, sleep a little bit there. Okay. Because, sleeping for too long can cause to where you're just sleep inertia. You're just going to be exhausted for a long period of time. So be careful with that. You can, trial and error and see how it works for you. At my home, we try to create a healthy sleep environment. So I try to get all of the noise, all of the clutter, all of the things that are going to be in my way out of my bedroom. I try to get it to a good temperature for me and my spouse. I'll make sure that I've got, a nice good blanket and pillows, a comfortable mattress. Some people like having a noise machine. Some people like making it really dark. Some people have to have a little bit of light. Whatever works for you. You want to create a good sleep environment that's optimal to you so that you can get into that sleep routine. Now, again, a couple more, just reminder things for some of your sleep hygiene, as we call it. Avoiding that caffeine and alcohol hours before bedtime. Getting exercise into your daily routine, because it's going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you feel less stress. Turning off those screens, because again, that blue light's going to keep us awake. Not to mention the news and a lot of the stuff that are out on the TV is very upsetting, and it could stress you out as well. Sticking to that schedule, and remember not to go to bed hungry or going to bed feeling stuffed, like you've got this big ball of food in your stomach, because your metabolism is going to slow down as you're sleeping. And that means it's not burning off the calories. So you don't want to have a huge amount of calories that you just put in your stomach. So these are just a couple of things to help you rest well. And we're just going to take another break and get another word on from one of our sponsors.
The leaves are falling. It's October 2021. Fall season is in full spring with warmer days and cooler nights. It's still time to plant your turnip seeds in kale, mustard, collards, and broccoli. More importantly, it's time to sow the yard and do fall planting. There is no better time of the year to reseed and to feed your lawn. T.G. Brooks Company has plenty of advice and plenty of supplies too. Enrich your yard with nutrients such as lime, fertilizer, grass seed, including the new Top Choice Turf Grass Seed for greener and plusher lawns. Many people have been to T.G. Brooks Company and picked up or had delivered beautiful mulch, including some of the triple ground mulch, and they have mulch in several colors. It's also time to do some raking and stay ahead of the leaves. Get your lawn rakes and your tools to do the work. No matter if you are the individual homeowner or you are the professional landscaper, T.G. Brooks gives the same courteous attention to everybody. Fall and this time of the year is also the time to check over your stovepipe needs and fitting needs. Also have your replacement parts for your Taylor wood stoves, like blowers, anode rods, rust inhibitor chemicals, and pumps. Next month, we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving. After that, remember T.G. Brooks for exciting Christmas gifts, which will be coming in sooner than you can imagine. Keep in mind, T.G. Brooks will have your Thanksgiving and Christmas delicious country hams. Hey, plan to do your shopping list, from cast iron cookware to case pocket knives, from your grocery needs, from plumbing supplies to electrical supplies. They have it and have plenty of advice, especially for lawn and garden. T.G. Brooks Company, thanking you for your business and looking forward to serving you. Phone 364-2428.
Welcome back to the Gardener's Corner. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. So we've talked to you about, developing a household and food budget. And we've also talked to you about the importance of sleeping well, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. So hopefully these two topics have kind of showed you different ways that it's important to stay healthy. And to do that, you need to be able to afford healthy foods. You don't have to go and buy, or organic or very expensive types of fruits and veggies or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with getting, fresh or frozen or canned fruits or vegetables. We have several farmers markets that are around, or produce stands, different individuals that you can buy foods from. So it really doesn't matter where you're getting your food or the type of it. We want you to get plenty of fruits and vegetables because your My Plate tells us that half of your plate should be fruits and veggies. And those fruits and veggies, we want to make sure that we're keeping them healthy. So how you cook them or how you prepare them is also important, because you can eat some sweet potato that is, could be healthy for you, but then you put a lot of butter or cinnamon or brown sugar or whatever else on it, and you took something that was relatively healthy and made it unhealthy for you. So also making sure that we're not eating out so much, because that's going to increase our food budget, but it's also going to make you not be as healthy, because you are increasing your calories, your fat, your sugar, your salt, which is going to increase your waistline, which will make you more at risk for heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and so many other different things. Talked about the importance of getting a good night's sleep, because that can also affect your hormones, your stress levels, your irritability, and can also make you more at risk for chronic illnesses such as heart disease and diabetes. So all of these different factors are what's going to help you be healthier. So just making slight changes in any of these ways can make really big differences. Just exercising a little bit more than maybe you are. Or exercising at all, even if you're not exercising now. Increasing the amount of fruits and veggies, eating out just a little bit less, sleeping a little bit more if you're not getting enough sleep, the recommended 7 to 9 hours. Making sure that you're doing things to also help your mental health. Making sure that you're taking time for yourself. It could be, I want to stop and read a good book. I want to have more time to go out in my garden, listen to music, go be social with friends. There's a lot of different community events that can help you do that. In fact, the Extension office is going to be out tomorrow, Saturday, October 16th, at the Family Fun Day event. We got rained out this past weekend, so Person Family Medical Center is going to try to have their Cancer Awareness Family Fun Day event this Saturday, October 16th, from 10 to 4 p.m. at Huck Sandsbury Park. The Extension office will be one of the many different vendor booths that will be out there. We'll be providing information about food, nutrition, budgeting, drinking, the importance of drinking water. We're going to have some recipe cards. We're going to have some giveaways for you and your family as well. So if you come out to the event, be sure to look for the extension booth and meet some of our extension master food volunteers who will also be out there with me. Throughout the entire day from 10 to 4, they've got kind of a schedule. So they're going to have some different presenters, whether it's some musical performers, they've got a magic show, they've got bingo, they've got food trucks, karaoke, a car show. They're going to have some different, like Mickey and Minnie out there. So we're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to have inflatables so the kids can bounce around, maybe get out some of that energy. So make sure that you stop by Huck Sansbury Park tomorrow from 10 to 4 and visit all of the different fun things that are going to be out there. From 12:30 to 1, they're also going to have some guest speakers. Again, not only is this a family fun event, but it's also a cancer awareness event. Person County has always been really good about supporting the American Cancer Society with a Relay for Life event, but we want to give some of our cancer survivors time to speak. So they usually have some of them available to just give some speeches about what they've gone through and the resources that are out there that have helped them deal with this ailment. And also that always goes back a little bit to nutrition. There are certain cancers out there that you are more likely to get if you are not eating a nutritious diet, if you're not getting enough exercise, believe it or not. So we'll have information in our booth about those different things. And remember, it's fall season. So there's always different, trunk or treats or fall festivals or, 5Ks or different things that are all around the area. Person County has several different parks, including Huck Sansbury Park, Mayo Park, that you can go walking. There's either trails or paths that you can go walking at. In fact, the Rock Sportsplex even has a walking trail and has some signs along the trails that'll tell you some of the different trees or plants that are out there. So it's a very nice scenic walking trail, either at those locations or again at Mayo Park. There's several different trails out there. Getting your family out, just enjoying the nice weather. It's starting to cool down a little bit, and it is the state fair time. So if you do go to the North Carolina State Fair, there's a lot of, I don't know if I should say good food. It's good tasting food, but it's not necessarily good for you food, but everything in moderation. So if you do go out to the state fair over the next week and a half and you're going to enjoy some of that food, try to get some of the fruits and veggies that they have there too. And try to watch your portion size. Share with somebody. That'll also help your food budget is if you're sharing something, because those things can be somewhat a little bit expensive. But there are a lot of extension booths out there. There's a lot of 4-Hers that are out there. We've had some 4-Hers already participate in poultry shows, and some of them are going to be out there over the next couple of days participating in some of the livestock shows. We have some 4-H groups that participate in the 4-H hay bale contest. So they'll be decorating a hay bale, promoting 4-H. So when you're out there, make sure you're not only getting all the food and you're having fun with all of the rides, but you're looking at some of the agricultural booths. Whether it's the Village of Yesteryear or the farm equipment demonstration. North Carolina's history is rich in agriculture, and it's extremely important to this state, to each county in this state, because it employs a lot of people all across the state, even now. And it's important to understand your history and to have a respect for it. A lot of people probably didn't visit all of those vendors that might be in the Village of Yesteryear, but a lot of them knew how to sew a mask this past year and did a lot of work helping people in their communities this past year, whether it was providing certain resources that they couldn't find, helping people know how to plant and harvest their own garden. Agriculture is extremely important, and we continue to see that each and every day as food prices rise and as we continue to try to provide food for our families and do so without breaking the bank. If you need any information from the Cooperative Extension Service, whether it's on eating healthy, whether it's growing your own garden or starting a farm, raising animals, we can help you with it all. Don't hesitate to call either the Cooperative Extension Service in Person and Granville counties, and be sure to check us out on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. My handle is at Person Granville FCS. If you're interested in our 4-H program, they have their own Facebook pages as well, and would love to have your child or you join 4-H as a volunteer. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for tuning in to this week's Gardener's Corner.